Week 3's in the books. We're on to week 4. We're going to talk about the crazy week 3 and get my week 4 predictions in. Right here, right now. Let's do it. Hello everybody, I'm Big E, back once again with the next episode of Big Predictions. Let's talk about a very interesting week 3. For week 3, I had a record of 8-7. We saw some really crazy games. We saw Packers won in overtime. The Dolphins lost to the Jets. The Broncos lost to the Chargers. Panthers lost to the Saints. Steelers lost to the Bears. And the Eagles won in dramatic fashion against the Giants with that 61-yard field goal. Yeah, that one still hurts. It will for a while. But anyway, that's about what happened in week 1. So, 8-7 in week 3, which brings my season 2 record, the 31-16. Still a good quality record on hand. Still not a whole lot to complain about. But without further ado, let's get into week 4. So in game 1 of week 4, we have the Packers and the Bears. Both teams that got some interesting wins this past week. Of course, Thursday night, so you know each team is probably going to be pretty tired. So that's why I'm going to take the Packers for this one. I think they're an overall stronger team. They look really good. And, of course, they got Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers can do anything. So, Packers are winning. And the next game now. Looks like we have ourselves another game in London. This is for the second straight week. Saints and the Dolphins has potential to be a pretty interesting game. In the end, I'm going to take the Saints to win it. I just think they have an overall better team than Miami, so the Saints are winning. And the next one now, where we have Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Houston, they lost a close one to the Pats this past week. Put up a really good fight in New England. That's why I'm still going to take them this week. I just think, they're a decent team, and they're going to get it done against the Titans. Next one, we have the Jaguars and the Jets. Both of them got some pretty lopsided wins this past week. But I'm going to take the Jaguars. I think besides Blake Bortles, they look pretty good and better than the Jets. That doesn't take a whole lot. So the Jaguars are winning. Next game, we have the Panthers and the Pats. Of course, second straight home game for New England. And it's against the Panthers, who really don't look that strong so far this year. So the Patriots are going to win. And the next one now, we have the Lions and the Vikings. The Lions lost at a heartbreaker this week, and the Vikings did get a win this week. But I'm going to take the Lions. I think they kind of got robbed this past week against the Falcons. And I just think they're a better team than the Vikings, so the Lions are winning. We have the next one now. We have the Bills and the Falcons. The Falcons are winning. I don't really got much to say. One of the top teams in the NFC. Falcons are winning. Next game now, where we have the Steelers, the Ravens. Both suffered some pretty bad losses this week. The Ravens got absolutely destroyed in London by the Jaguars, and the Steelers got upset by the Bears. But I think the Steelers are going to bounce back, and they're going to get the win this week. Next game up, we have the Bengals and the Browns. Now, I picked the Browns last week to win. They lost a close one to the Colts. But I'm going to pick them again this week. Like I said, still got an 8-8 prediction for them. So, the Browns are winning. Next up, we have the Rams and the Cowboys. Now, both got wins this past week. Of course, they were fairly close wins, but overall, all in all, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I just think they're an overall better team than the Rams. So, the Cowboys are winning. Next up, we have the Eagles and the Chargers. Next up, we have the Eagles and the Chargers. Eagles, of course, won on that lucky 61-yarder. The Chargers did get a win against Denver this past week. But I think I'm going to take the Chargers this week. I think the Chargers for the upset. That's all I got to say. Next up, we have the Giants and the Bucks. Buccaneers, of course, are 1-1. They've only played 2 games. They had week 1 off due to Hurricane Irma. The Giants, which are coming off that heartbreaking loss, that still does hurt, to Philadelphia this past week. But I think the Giants are going to finally turn it around. They looked a hell of a lot better this week than the first 2 weeks. The Giants are going to get it done finally this week. We head to the final few games now, where we have the 49ers and the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win. I think they're just overall better than the 49ers. Cardinals. Next up, we have the Raiders and the Broncos. Ooh, boy, this has potential to be a pretty good one. Of course, AFC West matchup. Raiders did not look good at all against the Redskins, which is really surprising. I thought, they're still a good team in the AFC, but I don't know what happened this past Sunday night. But I'm still going to take the Raiders to win. Denver, they didn't look a hell of a lot better this past week, so the Raiders turning around and winning. And in the Sunday night game, we have the Colts and the Seahawks. The Colts got the win this past week. The Seahawks got upset as well. They did not look good at all. The offensive line still needing a hell of a lot of work. Probably one of the worst in the league. But I think I'm going to take the Seahawks to win. The Colts, they beat the Browns by a couple points. But the Seahawks are going to bounce back and they're going to beat Indianapolis. We head to the final game of the week where we had the Redskins and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are one of the two undefeated teams left this season. The Redskins are 2-1 along with 3 other NFC East teams, and it's in Arrowhead Stadium, which is always a tough place to play. One of the best home field advantages there is. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win. They're going to continue winning. 4-0 start for them. Chiefs for the win. Well, guys, that's going to do it this week for Big Predictions. Thank you all for watching again. I guess wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching once again. Until next week, guys, so long.